Well, okay then, if we're good to go, it's 6 minutes past 8, we're running late. Okay then, first of all, welcome to the room, Gary, British Resistance. The room owner is Bertie Burt. My name's Paul Morris, sometimes known as the Green Arrow. Please call me GA or Paul, or whatever you prefer. Okay then, Gary, I thought we'd start off if you could perhaps first of all tell us a little bit about yourself, your personal life, what you do for a living, where you live, that kind of thing, and then you can lead on then into about your time in the British National Party, if that's okay with you, just to start you off, Gary.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Right, okay then, obviously my name's Gary Marshall. I'm 52 years old, married to Michelle. We have 3 children between us, two daughters and a son. And I'm a sales manager. I live down here in Devon. That's the personal stuff. So really, anything else you want to know, just ask away.
Okay then, Gary, will just bounce back and forth really. Really all you've got to do is just do a brain dump, if you like, into the room. So thanks. Nice part of the world that you come from. Pleased to hear about your family, sounds nice. So a bit about yourself, personal life. Okay then, how did you first become involved in the British National Party, Gary?
Okay, yeah, I was living out in Spain for a few years. When I came back, I noticed, even in that short period of time, quite a few changes had taken place, even down in this part of the world. I'd been interested in nationalist politics before I left the country, and when I came back, I decided to do something about it, and joined the British National Party back in 2003. Initially, I wasn't incredibly active. I did some leafleting and various other bits and pieces. Met Nick Griffin a couple of times. And then gradually got more and more involved until back in 2005 I was made the fund holder for the North Devon group. And then about 12 months later I actually took over as the organiser for the group. And probably about 12 months after that I became Deputy Sub-Regional Officer for the South West, and then the Sub-Regional Officer for the South West. And that was the position I held right up until I left the British National Party. Really, when would that be? The end of October, beginning of November last year.
Yeah, no questions, Lutami. Now we're sticking to the room rules. For now, any questions into the box. Okay, Lutami, you'll get a chance to ask Gary questions later. Thanks for that, Gary. So what did you make of Nick Griffin during the times you met him? Did you get on well with him? Were you impressed with him? Things like that? I've got to be honest, he was the reason I came back to the British National Party. But how about telling us how you felt about Nick Griffin, what you thought of him as a person, and then perhaps you could lead into why you decided to leave the British National Party and where you were going when you left the party. Had you always had it in your mind to go off to another political party, or did the British Freedom Party come after you left?
Right, okay. As far as Nick Griffin is concerned, I've met him for the first time back in 2003 in a meeting which was held down here in Devon, and I liked him. I got on very well with him. Met him 2 or 3 more times down here. Was invited to go and have dinner with him and about half a dozen other people, and we sat and discussed quite a few things, and as I said, I got on very well with him. Over the years that I've been in the British National Party, again, periodically I would meet him, and I've always got on very well with him. But the reason why I actually decided to leave the British National Party was, obviously, we all know that there are problems with the British National Party, and I stuck with it for quite a long time. Even when the BNP Reform Group started up. I had some discussions with them. I thought about possibly joining. I decided not to. I decided to stay with the BNP and tough it out and hope that we, in the end, seeing the way things were going and a few concerns about the way Nick Griffin is actually behaving in the party, I was getting more inclined towards leaving the BNP, not necessarily joining another party. I did have a visit from Peter Mullins and Simon Bennett. I had been in contact with them on and off for quite some time, and they actually came and saw me at work, and we discussed the possibility of my joining the British Freedom Party. They offered me the position of the media officer, which I decided to accept, and really that was it. You know, I decided, okay, yeah, I'm not going to be a dog with two tails here. If I'm going to have any involvement with any political party, then it will be with just one political party, and put all my efforts into it. So back in the beginning of November last year, when the offer was made to me to join the Freedom Party, I accepted and got to work straight away.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you, Gary. I've got to ask a couple of questions here from the floor. Some of them, I'll come back on those about individuals. I was just wondering, one second please, Gary. Yeah, someone was asking whether you, I can't see the person's name at the moment, gone off my screen, was asking during your time with the British National Party, was that under Mike Howson or Peter Mullins at the time? Which one of those were you reporting to at the time? It's just a general question.
Both. I mean, obviously back in 2003, Peter Mullins was one of the very first people I met. He didn't live too far away from me. I was living down in Cornwall at that time. So yeah, the regional officer had been Peter Mullins, and then ultimately, as we all know, Mike Howson. And obviously he was still there when I decided to leave the party.
Okay, right, and now we can sort of move on to that. I think a lot of people in here would like to know really why you left. I've got to be honest, I've heard the tape of the conference. Not sure it was a wise thing to do to tape a conference. You could, perhaps you can tell us in the next bit, you know, did the other people in the room know that the conference was being taped? I don't think there's really too much need to go into some of the details or individual players, but did you have no reservations about some of the individuals involved in the British Freedom Party that you joined, Gary?
Up until, I mean, I know that there are mixed feelings about Peter Mullins depending on who you speak to, and things that happened in the BNP. I'd always got on quite well with Peter. I didn't always agree with his views on things, but I got on very well with him. So when I was invited to go and join the Freedom Party, yeah, I accepted it, and quite a number of the people there I either knew or I knew of. I didn't have a problem with them. What I wasn't aware of, and I think that also comes across in the infamous Skype conversation, is I was not aware at the time of my joining that Lee Barnes was an executive officer in that party. Had I known that, I may have given it more consideration, but having never worked with him before, it would be wrong of me to, you know, pass judgment on somebody without having any first-hand knowledge of them. So, I mean, really that's the answer to that question.
Well, yeah, I can understand what you're saying there. It's an experience coming into contact with Lee Barnes for the first time, that's for sure. I've never met him personally, but I've been aware of him for some time. Yorkie King, this is more of a statement actually, Gary. Yorkie King is saying that he first met Nick Griffin years ago in the early 80s, and whether people laugh or not, he was Yorkie King's hero. I've got to be honest, he was my hero as well, and said it time after time. Many of us would have died for him. He was going to change the face of immigration forever. Now Now Yorkie King is saying that he feels a bit of a fool, and well, he resents the money that he's put into the party. How do you feel about the way that Nick Griffin, if you like, has treated the members and supporters of the British National Party?
I don't think there's any doubt that Nick Griffin, the time that he's been the chairman, has done great things for the British National Party. I think in a lot of ways he did modernise it. He brought it up the rankings and made it the largest nationalist party in Britain. But every leader has to recognise the time when it's time to go and hand it over to somebody who can take it to the next level. And I think, unfortunately, what's happened with Nick is he really doesn't want to go for whatever reason. I mean, obviously lots of people can speculate why he doesn't want to go, but the point is, I think that's the root cause of the problems with the British National Party now. I think there are some issues about rhetoric and imagery, a few other problems which, with the right people in place, could be resolved. But ultimately, I think it's packed for a change of chairman.
Well, I think you'll find quite a few people in here will agree with you. It's a pity, but yes, he could have gone out on a bang. He could have gone out as the hero of nationalism. Dashing chap from Griffin Watch, I believe. I hope I'm right. As asking, what do you think? Do you think that cultural nationalism will encourage immigration? If you say to immigrants that they can become British by adapting to our culture, they'll be encouraged to come here. Can you tell us your views on sort of cultural nationalism? Do you believe that people are British just by adopting our culture?
Right. I don't believe that cultural nationalism would encourage immigration. I don't think we need anything to encourage immigration other than what's already going on in the country now. Do I believe that people can become British? You're either born British or you're not born British. But as far as cultural nationalism is concerned, I think those people that are in this country now and have come here for the right reasons and want to contribute towards Britain and actually want to accept the British way of life, they can integrate into British society, and they can be a value to our society, to our culture, to the future, hopefully, prosperity of this country. As far as immigration is concerned, I mean, we all know the only way we're ever going to get a handle on immigration is by getting out of the European Union. We haven't got control of our borders. The European Union is an all-pervasive cancer which is eating into every single country which is a member of it. And the only way we can ever resolve the vast majority of problems that we've got in this country is by first and foremost leaving the European Union.
Well, you're preaching to the converted here. I'm in agreement there. I think most in this room are. There's a big difference between being, quotes, British and, quotes, a British citizen. But those people who are here legally, who adopt to our way of life, who don't try to impose a foreign culture on us, they're fine. But once they start to try and change our culture, change our way of life, then I think there's only one place they should go. I guess we're going to have to talk now, Gary, about what prompted you to leave the British Freedom Party. I know it's awkward without mentioning individuals, but I guess it's got to be asked. So what I'd like to do is make it a two-part question, Gary. First of all, why did you decide to leave, or possibly refusing for us people out here with the information that's gone to the electorate? Just what is the situation? Today we heard that the Electoral Commission had ruled in favour of Peter Mullins, but it's difficult to know the truth of things, because a quick check on the Electoral Commission site shows that people like, is it Councillor Simpkins? He's still actually the nominating officer or something. So could you tell us why you left the British Freedom Party, and then also the current situation